to talk about this amazing phone call I just got from a customer, Mrs. Jones, because my crew went out and did a job yesterday trimming up her ornamental trees. We do landscaping, tree trimming. Anyways, this is very transformational. She started gushing, is that the word? That's how she called it, over the fact of how my crew did such an amazing job, how attentive they were to the work, how they trimmed the trees. These are just ornamental trees. They're not big trees or anything, but they trimmed the trees like artists. They were so attentive and just all over it and cleaning up and so much attention to detail. And she went on and on and on of how it just has restored her faith in contractors. And like, I don't talk about my customers' personal stuff, so you have no idea who this customer is. But this customer happens to be, the lady is a widow, right? And she had almost gotten taken advantage of by a couple other contractors because there wasn't a man in the house present, like a husband, you know what I mean? So I sent my crew there to do the work. Now, here's the interesting thing. This lady didn't know that yesterday, while my crew was there doing the work, not my crew, I don't own them, they're guys that I respect and they're phenomenal at what they do, but I was telling my wife, I was working from home, doing the administrative paperwork, marketing, sending out marketing emails, following up with customers, closing jobs, working on my internet business. I just didn't have time to go to the job site, and I haven't really been to all the job sites all year. And I was like, I got this gut feeling that I need to leave and I got to go to the job site. I just got to make sure they're doing the job right. This is a little bit tricky, this job. It's going to be very technical. I hope they get it done today. And all day long, my stomach was kind of, turning. Because if you follow my story at all, Keith Kelfus, I've recently got so burned out from being in the field that I've gotten out of the field, and I still do sales and marketing. So I guess I'm not totally out of the field, but I'm not on every job site every day anymore. But I had to wait till I got to the point where it was so bad where I was dying inside. Even talking about it causes me anguish that I was like, I'm going to shut down this whole business or I'm getting out of the field and hiring somebody. I don't care. Sometimes it has to get that painful for you. So yesterday I got a little bit of free time, which I don't normally. I was like, you know what? I'm going to bust out the power washer and the surface cleaner at my own personal house. And I'm going to power wash and clean my driveway, not only because it needs to be done, but I also want to experiment. Do we want to add this service to our list of services? Because we do window cleaning, and we've kind of removed, for the most part, interior window cleaning, staying out of people's houses. This is just pain in the ass. Another story for another talk. And maybe service cleaning is a high profit margin, a thing that we can get into. So I was doing it, and it's like I kept getting anxiety. Like, what am I doing? I need to leave, and I got to go to the job site, and I got to work. And I've conditioned myself that the only way I can make money and pay my bills and survive and not die is by going out, climbing up and down ladders, and washing windows, and trimming trees, and shoveling rocks, and doing mulch, and being out there in the field sweating, which I actually love, right? But you feel like everything's falling apart because the neuroscience, the neurons that fire together, wire together in your brain and tell you that, especially when something's attached to your survival and all the emotions that you create around it and the stories you tell yourself, it's so real to you that you can't imagine not being in the field, and you really can't imagine that somebody else could do the job as good as you could. And if you hire employees, I've had, about 40 total. You've been through the ringer with employees. But what you didn't realize is that you hadn't leveled up your game enough to train them properly, give them the tools that they need, to be mature about it, to trust them. And there's a saying, if you give someone a rope long enough, they'll hang themselves. And you got to trust people. This comes with time and energy experience. And I'm not saying that I'm the dude. I don't have a multi-million-dollar business yet. But my guys know what to do. If I'm going to be running on the job sites and checking up on them, they're going to feel like I don't trust them. And how would you feel, right? So I forced myself. I said, you know what? I'm going to do an experiment. I know better. I'm just going to not go to the job site. And if all goes to hell in a handbasket, so be it. If they don't get the job done, if they do a horrible job and we got to go back and fix it, I don't care about the money. Right now, I care about the principle.
More of the Untrapped podcast right after this. Hey, if you're looking for what is probably the greatest software ever to run your business on, go to getjobber.com/Keith. You can create proposals, invoices, collect payments, even track your entire business directly on the Jobber smartphone app. And if you want to get a totally free trial of Jobber right now, open your browser, type in getjobber.com/Keith. And if after the trial you decide you want to sign up with Keith's link, you'll automatically get 20% off your first 6 months. So what are you waiting for? Go to getjobber.com/Keith. The Untrapped podcast continues.
I'm not going to that job site. And you know what? It did take the guys all damn day. If I was there, we would have got done a lot faster because I do this shit every day. Like, I know exactly what to do. But you know what? How do people learn? And how do they get better? By doing it through repetition. I have a buddy who has like 2 $5 million businesses. And he said, you know what? My guys went out and they power washed a house and then they forgot something and this and that. And they had to go back twice. And in the end, an $1,800 job, which was supposed to make me $800, after all the callbacks and all the shit, and my new employees out there working, by the time they finally got the job done, I only made $200 off of it. I was like, oh my God, was it so stressful? He's like, listen, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. This is not how you should think. This is coming from an entrepreneur who's been through this so many times that he's gotten to the point where it's not that he doesn't give a fuck in the most respectful way. He's gotten to the point where he doesn't give a fuck about all the little petty shit. You got to hear what I'm saying here. He had to get to the point where he doesn't. This sounds horrible as a business owner. If anybody heard me say this, they wouldn't understand it unless you were an actual entrepreneur yourself and you had a small business. Because to say you don't give a fuck, especially using the F word, that could like ruin your reputation. So you got to understand the context of what I'm saying, especially in today's environment. Can't say anything, but he said, I still made $200 and I didn't even have to be there, Kelfus. Now, if you got 10 or 20 crews out making that, whatever, you might not be able to afford that. I was like, you know what? I don't care about the money and I don't care about how much money I made. All I care about is that the guys are doing their job and they're happy and the customer's happy. Anyways, I call the customer up this morning doing my due diligence and I say, hey, Mrs. Jones, I just wanted to make sure that you were happy with the work. My guys said that you were happy and that you left a check. But I want to call you personally and just make sure, because if there's anything you want different, we'll come back and we'll fix it. She goes, no. This is like the pinnacle of my story right now. The lady said, I am so incredibly happy with the work. Your guys were like artists out there. They were all over it and they were trimming the trees so beautiful and they transformed them. And I was watching it happen and they care so much and they were so attentive. And like, how did you get them to be that way? And like, your crew and your team is amazing. And they must have a lot of respect for you. They must love you because they're doing such a great job. And I'm a widow and I've had contractors try to rip me off in the past. And, you know, you guys have restored my faith in contractors and humanity. And she's like, I know I'm gushing. And I was like, I'm going on and I'm sorry, but I just want to say I'm so incredibly happy. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm sitting here like, yeah. Like, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. But then she went on to the next level and she said, no, I really want to let you know that you have an amazing team. And, you know, I was a little nervous at first hiring somebody, but then you guys totally changed my mind and my beliefs and made me believe again. And it's like, your guys are incredible out there. And they were so nice to me and so kind and so attentive. And as she was saying that, my fucking eyes just started filling up with tears. And I'm sitting at my kitchen table trying to hold back the tears because to have a customer say something like that to you, to me, that's everything that I've ever wanted to hear to restore my faith in my business. Because it's not easy being a small business owner, man. It's fucking really hard. And you don't ever get a pat on the back. All you hear is once in a blue moon you did something wrong and you need to fix that shit. You don't have any validations, you know? It's like you're just in the service business. I told this lady, I want to say you got me almost in tears right now here on a Saturday morning because you don't know how hard I've hustled and grinded for 9-10 years to get to the point where I could have you have a customer tell me something like this, and this means the world to me. And then we talked for like another 10 minutes. I don't normally talk with my customers. Hey, I hope you liked the show. And if you like the Untrapped podcast and you get value from it, can you please take a minute and go over to Spotify and leave it a well-worded positive 5-star review. It helps boost the rankings on Spotify so the show can get to more people. Therefore, these messages can get out to more people and inspire more people so then they can go out and start their small businesses and crush it and get to the next level. It's a huge deal. All right, I'll see you in the next show.